Rufus T. Firefly is named president of a bankrupt Fredonia and declares war on the neighboring Sylvania over the wealthy Mrs. Teasdale in the Marx Brothers classic 1933 Duck Soup.
You expecting somebody?
Yes.
Now, I'll be the first to admit that most comedies that have been made prior to the 1970s, in most audiences' opinions, are extremely dated. It is in that respect that I think that everybody should see the Marx Brothers, whether it's your cup of tea or not. It's an extraordinary and unique example of that sort of vaudeville comedy, and it's one of the greatest comedies of all time. And what is best, in my opinion, is that it has endured since 1933 as a great comedy and even remains a great classic today. The shame of it all is that many people have never even heard of the Marx Brothers, or if you've heard of them, you've never seen an actual Marx Brothers movie, because these kinds of movies are, I think, parodied, and when people see them, they go, wow, those movies were really dated, and I can't believe that people at one time thought that they were funny. That is the impression that I believe most people would have going into seeing this. But I'm confident that you will be wrong in that respect, and that this will be just a knockout laughing funny movie. And I don't think that it's a difficult movie to try on, because the feature runtime is only 66 minutes. That's barely over an hour. It doesn't necessarily have to hold your attention for that long, and it's not particularly well story-oriented, but it's generally a comedic roller coaster, whether it's the witty Groucho Marx, the musical Chico, or the physical and slapstick Harpo Marx. There's a fourth Marx brother, Zeppo, which the only reason I'm mentioning him is because some people might read in the cast, like, why didn't you mention this one? Zeppo was in a few of the first Marx Brothers movies, but he later retired from appearances in the films because he was just kind of out of place. He was the leading man, Marx Brother. He was not very funny. I'm not trying to dig into him. It's just factual. He would probably tell you if he was alive today. So yeah, that's why I'm mentioning him. He's in it, but don't pay too much attention to him. Also, very noteworthy to mention, Margaret Dumont, who plays Mrs. Gloria Teasdale. The funny thing about her is that she's been in almost all of the Marx Brothers movies, and perhaps the brilliance behind her performance is that, and this was true off camera, is that Mrs. Teasdale, or Mrs. Dumont, she did not get the humor that the Marx Brothers material was all about. So she was basically playing everything straight because she didn't know where the punchline was. And not to knock the Marx Brothers, because they're funny, but it's just kind of funny how you would think that Dumont's performances are so, she plays it so well, she plays it so straight, yet she doesn't actually get the humor. Again, do not watch this movie for story. It's really not an intellectual comedy, yet at the same time it has heart, effort has been put into it. It's not one of those comedies that we call them guilty pleasures, that just insults your intelligence, and it's one of those movies where you're just like, hey, you'll see it, so whatever. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Duck Soup. In your opinion, was it one of the greatest comedies of all time? If not, was it a comedy that you appreciated and that you even offered a few laughs at times? Tell me what you thought of the Marx Brothers and that whole vaudeville style of comedy, and that's pretty much it.
Not that I care, but where is your husband?
Why, he's dead.
I'll bet he's just using that as an excuse.
I was with him till the very end.
No wonder he passed away.
I held him in my arms and kissed him.
Oh, I see. Then it was murder. Will you marry me? Did he leave you any money? Answer the second question first.
He left me his entire fortune.
Is that so? Can't you see what I'm trying to tell you? I love you.
Oh, Your Excellency.
You're not so bad yourself.